Hey guys, this is Andreas from Nothing But Tablets. On the site we do cover a lot of software mods and sort of various customization options for Android devices. And I know that between all the other posts and new posts and stuff like that, it can be a bit hard to keep track and sometimes it can also be a bit hard to understand what stuff actually does in practice. So what I was thinking was that I would run you through what I have running on my device. Um, Stuff that I'm actually using, not just stuff that I try out for articles. So I'll go through what they do, why I use them, and things like that. So uh, first let's start off with that was the wrong app. Uh, I have changed the DPI on my tablet. I covered that in an article not long ago. So basically, if I can find a screenshot here that has my old DPI, this one should do, and zoom that in to fit the screen right there, you can sort of see in between it fading away that the current status bar has much smaller icons than the one in the screenshots, the old screenshots, and that's basically because um, the Android OS uses basically two sort of values to determine how to display apps: the DPI and the resolution. The screen size is basically not important because if you have the density, which is the DPI, and you have the resolution, then that also sort of covers the screen size. So basically what that means is that if you have a root app, not root, if you have root, you can download an app that changes the DPI, setting, which makes the OS think that you're actually using a tablet with a larger display, and as a result it scales down all the UI elements, like everything from the status bar to all the buttons and menu icons and stuff like that. So basically that helps if you want to free up space and you think that you can still use all these buttons even though they're smaller, because that also naturally gives you more space for the sort of content area. Like if I display a screenshot like right here, this would actually display smaller on the this stock DPI, because then the status bar would take up more space. So that's one tweak I'm using. And another one is gesture control, or whatever it's called. Basically that allows you to use various gestures, like using four fingers to sort of squeeze on the screen to go home. So that's moderately useful. However, the most useful aspect of it is that I can use two fingers to hide the status bar, which is very useful in video because basically, if I have any video at all, so some old stuff here. I don't want YouTube to trigger on some sort of content violation, but basically this is normally full screen mode on Android. You can see those little glowing dots on the bottom, which is actually the status bar having sort of faded out, but it's still there, so you don't get the actual full screen experience unless you hide the status bar completely. And that's also a feature that requires root. It's not available at all unless you have root, so somewhat of an oversight from Google, if you ask me. But That's just how it is. Okay, so right now I'm on my home screen, and there are some stuff here that doesn't require root. First of all, this is the only home screen. I think the stock launcher actually comes with a set number of home screens, and you can't change that. So what I've done here to remove all the other ones and keep everything on one screen, that's not possible with stock launcher. This is ADW Launcher EX, I think it's called. Using a third-party launcher is always a good thing, or at least is normally a good thing, because it does give you quite a lot more options than the stock launchers. You can see I'm using some custom icons. It's a web browser and unified remote, Google Play / Android Market, and the app drawer. And these folders down here are actually widgets. You can actually make folders with this launcher. Making folders is a feature that is now included in Android as of Android 4.0, but this is Android 3.2. But most third-party launchers already support folders. But the reason why I'm using widgets as folders, which require you to sort of use this setting interface to add new apps instead of just sort of dragging them into the folder, is that first of all, I don't like the folder system in ADW launcher. Second of all, I have switched launchers a couple of times, and using a widget just basically allows you to re-add the widget instead of sort of dragging around all the icons to create the folders from scratch. So if you do switch launchers a lot, that's a nice trick. You can also give you folders on launchers that doesn't normally support it, and it also gives you more options if you don't like the folder system in your launcher. And also another custom thing with this home screen is that it's 8x8 icons, which means that if I turn the tablet, it still looks quite nice. It doesn't mess up or anything like that. So yeah, one final thing, this icon right here, if I can press it and make it appear on video, that's actually not a normal app shortcut. It's actually an action shortcut. Actions are basically features within an app. So if I find the full app shortcut here for unified remote, I open it and it basically brings me into this startup menu thing screen where I can choose different remotes for my computer. The reason I have another icon here is that this is an action icon going directly to one of the remote. So if I click it, it basically opens the app and goes to a special part of the app. So not all apps support this, and it will vary depending on the app what it actually does. But if I make a custom shortcut, whoops, I can make it, for instance, automatically launch a book. So instead of launching the ebook reader, it will now launch the book directly. So that's a nice little feature. So next we can take a look at browsers. I've noticed almost a scary amount of tablet and Android device reviewers use the built-in browser and actually include that as part of the review. I haven't quite gotten the point of that, because you can just switch out the browser like you would on a computer. And Dolphin is perhaps one of the most popular browsers. It allows you to install plugins. You can see on the sidebar here that I have LastPass and Xmarks. Those plugins allow me to sync my passwords and auto log into sites across computers and mobile devices, and Xmarks allows me to do the same with bookmarks. So there are so many different plugins for Dolphin, so if you're a heavy web browser user, you should definitely try to check out some of the options and not just use whatever came with your device. So next up, I'm going to lock my device here and then turn it back on again. And on the video you probably saw a black screen for a second, but there wasn't any pattern to unlock the device. That's because I use something called, let me see if I have it here, unlock with Wi-Fi. Basically, as long as I'm in range of my home Wi-Fi connection, it won't ask me for an unlock pattern. So if I take this outside, it will ask me for a pattern to unlock the screen, but as long as it knows I'm connected to my home Wi-Fi, it knows it's safe and it can just sort of skip that part. Next up, something I find extremely annoying. Right now I'm in landscape mode, so if I head into Google Play, and I can see an app here that has portrait mode screenshots, and what this does is that when I click one, it takes control over the OS and switches the orientation to portrait, taking all the actual control buttons with it. So I have to sort of try to find out where the back button went in order to sort of go back. Extremely annoying, especially in this Android market thing, because it's sometimes when you scroll down you accidentally press one of these, and just having the buttons move all over the screen is extremely annoying if you ask me. And also apps that start in portrait mode and stuff like that. Call me crazy if you have to, but I like to be in control over what way the display over the display orientation. So there's a very simple non-root tool called Rotate. I'm going to start it up. I intentionally closed it before starting this video so I can show what issues it's actually fixing. Going to go back in, and now the app is preventing the Google Play app from taking control over the screen orientation. So now I can rotate it myself. Right there I was actually rotating the tablet physically, and even though I'm getting a much smaller image in landscape mode, at least I'm in control over when and where it's going to rotate. So that also works with apps that start up in a specific orientation, and as I said, that's not a root only app, so that's quite nice. Let's see, that's most of what I have. Something I've just started using, if I can go into the camera and just snap a quick picture of my iPad down there, having my notes for this video, so I remember to cover everything. Take a picture, and I should be seeing a notification any minute, unless I accidentally closed that app as well. I might have done that when I emptied out my RAM before this video. It seems I might have done that. So there we are. I started back up again, and it's called DropSync, synchronizing data with Dropbox. Basically, if I hadn't killed it before making this video, it would have automatically detected that there was a new image file in the camera folder, because I just took a photo, and So yeah, it just let me know that some changes were detected and synced. So what this basically did is that it detected a new image and it uploaded it into a specified folder on my Dropbox account. So it also works with screenshots. If I just save this one, it should do the same to that and sync it to a different folder. I've set up all of that, so I didn't post anything. Yeah, you can see it go there. So that's what should have happened before if I hadn't killed the task. I wrote an article about this on Pocketables.net. Brian also has an article on Nothing But Tablets about a similar app. The difference being that DropSync is a two-way process, so you could, in theory, have let's say you set up the music folder so it fetches all your music files from Dropbox and puts them on your local storage on your tablets. So basically you can sort of set it up to do all sorts of things. So I have this set up on both my tablet and my phone, so if I take a screenshot or a photograph on either device, it syncs two separate folders in my Dropbox. That also means that I can go on my computer and just grab the photo literally seconds after I shot it. It's all automatic and in the background. So that's the final thing. Then is game controllers. I'm not going to start plugging in stuff, but basically I have both USB Bluetooth Joy Center and 6-axis controller installed. Right now I'm only using USB Bluetooth Joy Center, as well as the joystick to touch add-on. If you look at Nothing But Tablets, you will see various demos. I can use PlayStation, Xbox controllers to play any game on the tablet. It doesn't have to be able to be programmed with buttons. As long as it has touch buttons, that's all it needs, because it can emulate touch input. So basically if you click something on the controller, the tablet thinks you're clicking part of the screen, and of course you can configure all of that so it fits different games. And also an article I posted, I think it was yesterday, I can actually also use a V controller with motion controls for I played Angry Birds in the demonstration video. So if you like to do some gaming on your tablet, that's definitely something to look into. You will run into the root requirement at some part during that setup if you want sort of the full range of controls and touch emulation and all that stuff. And I know that a lot of the stuff I've gone through now is root only, but that's unfortunately the only way to get a lot of features on Android. So if my iPad list is correct, I covered everything I wanted to cover. So hopefully that has given you some ideas for what you can do to customize your Android tablet and fix some annoyances, add some automations, things like that. And I think you can find articles on Nothing But Tablets for most of what I have mentioned here. I will add appropriate links in the article to this video. So thank you for watching, and make sure to check out Nothing But Tablets.